What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Elevator Life.
Hey guys, how you doing? We just got back from a good little trip over Thanksgiving break. We went up to Shanghai. We actually, for those of you guys don't know stuff about getting tailored in China, they can literally tailor anything for you.
It's a good-looking jacket.
It's really a cool experience. You go there and you can just pick fabrics and open a magazine and be like, I want this to be made, and they'll make it for you.
Yeah, I met businessmen when I was there before a few years ago studying. Fly over for their business trips and get a couple suits tailored, 5-10 shirts, and what's a shirt? 100 RMB?
100 RMB, $15.
15 US for a completely tailored shirt. Any fabric suits are 600 maybe. About $100 for a tailored suit. Mm-hmm. What was the jacket?
Jacket was about 60, the Pico, and it was awesome. It's just a cool experience for so many foreigners there doing that. So anyone, if you ever come to China, definitely check out the tailoring markets.
Yeah, if you want to look good, tailored's the only way to go here, especially because foreign brands are marked up so much anyway.
Yeah, and it's a good way to look like you're somebody.
Yeah. That's true. That's true too.
Today we got a really exciting post. We're doing the 5 inconveniences that you'll run into in your daily life over here in China. And they're all over the place. There's a lot of obviously inconvenient factors when you're living in a completely different region and culture than your own.
Yeah, there's some things that I guess you'll understand or recognize and deal with, and it's okay, I know how to react to those. And then there's those inconveniences that will always be there no matter what. And I mean, there's way more than 5, but these are the 5 that we run into like in daily life, I guess, that we know we're always going to run into regardless of how long we've been here, just because it's how it works in China.
Yeah, and we like sharing this post because a lot of the people, a lot of followers, and a lot of the emails we get are talking about, are people interested in coming over and actually making the move. So this will give them a little precursor to be forewarned.
Yeah, exactly. It's not, I mean, it is great over here. We still love it, but I like everywhere, you're going to run into some few problems. Speed bumps, as we call them.
Yep.
That's about it. So let's get started. Number 1, I forgot what we wrote. Oh, locals don't understand your Chinese. This doesn't apply to everybody. But I mean, even anybody who picks up like the street name or where you're going, or say you're going to the bank or the post office, simple words, survival words. Sometimes you'll get a cab driver or a worker or a shopkeeper who just has no idea what you're asking for. You could be asking for cups, you can be asking for like a certain dish at a restaurant, and if your tone's off or maybe they're from a different province, it's literally, you can say it 10 times. The cab driver yesterday, I would say it 10 times, and on the 11th time, they kind of either get it, or else like they laugh, and they're like, oh, you're trying to say what I think I just said, and the tones are off or whatever, and they just don't understand.
Yeah. It's by no means their fault. Yeah. This is their country, this is their home. But it is really inconvenient, it does get really, really frustrating, because you'll be saying something that 5 out of 10 people, no, even more than that, 8 out of 10 people will normally understand. They're like, oh, yeah. Then you'll run into a guy who'll be like, no, just the tonnage difference. That's really what, makes it so difficult. Yeah. And he'll say it back to you and they'll sound the exact same. You're like, and it took you 5 minutes to get it over.
It could be something like clothes, or like even like a bag, or like a drink, like a cup, like 一个杯子, and they're not anything. You're like showing it to them, and they're just like, oh, Beza. You're like, come on, I've been saying that for 2 minutes. Yeah, it's just, at least it doesn't last too long, but it is something you'll run into, so be ready for that.
Yeah, maybe it could, this number 1 could have been having subpar Chinese.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's not fluent by any means.
It is also more difficult down in Guangzhou, because a lot of these guys, Mandarin isn't their first language. So their Mandarin isn't as good as people's up north. So moving on, no personal space, especially when you're looking at a place like the metro. And when we're talking about no personal space, you're talking about, it's not that they just stand right next to you. People will push you, they'll move you out of the way. It's just the culture here. That's not rude or anything. Like if you're queuing up for the subway, I just said queuing up.
Whoa,
that's weird.
That is weird.
But like,
England, apparently,
someone will just walk in front of you, even though you're lining up. It'll be like, do we do that around here?
Yeah.
And so I found myself actually turning into that person, like in Hong Kong, where it's way, way less so. The culture's different there. I'll find myself like walking around people that are lining up for the escalator and just squeezing in.
Yeah.
And it's just so Chinese, you know, but it's the culture.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, we mean no personal space. I mean, you know, arm to arm with people. And like I said, pushing. Literally, people will push to get in. You'll be stuffed. You'll be squeezed. I seldom get on the metro. Well, anymore, period. But before, when I was on the metro, when you're riding the metro, it's like I was seldom on there without being pushed or having to move or something, for sure. Number 3, receipts. In China, they're fapiao is what they're called. And you literally need it for everything. Buying something in your house, I mean, a TV, getting a receipt from a store. Taxis are the most important. That's how they trace them down. And I mean, in the States, we don't keep receipts really. Oh, okay, that's fine. And if you go back, say you lost something or you left something somewhere, and you go back, oh, I was here. If you don't have a receipt in China, it's mei ban fa is what they say. So mei you ban fa or something like no solution, which is one of my pet peeves to hear because there's always a solution. But they just say, you know, if there's no receipt, if there's no proof, and they can't see it, even if they recognize you, sorry, we can't do anything.
One of these most frustrating things is you'll have to, like for your internet provider, you'll have to keep some receipts for like a year. And if somehow you lose it throughout the year, you're in big trouble. It's just not a smooth system.
Yeah.
It's not a good way to keep records. And they definitely haven't gone electronic, so that is definitely one of our pet peeves over here.
Yeah, and makes your wallet stuffed if you're cruising around that day and you have like 6, 7, 8 cab fares in there. It's just, I guess, and there's so many cabs in China too, where even if you keep your receipt and then say you left something in there like I just said, then you're just going to be out of luck, because if they drive off anyway, what can you really? I don't know where I'm going with this.
Okay.
Anyways, moving on. Sorry.
What he was trying to say, you guys, you need a receipt if you ever lose anything in a taxi. If you don't have a receipt and you left it in there, they won't track it down for you.
Boom. Sorry, I went off on a tangent. Thank you.
Number 4 is the hierarchy system. It's so structured over here that people, especially lower level employees, are not given the ability or not trained in the capacity to actually make decisions.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem and you go we had one with our internet, and we needed someone to be sent to our house. We went into the internet shop, and she's like, nope, we can't do that. No, we can't do it. And she just had been trained just to say those words back to people, And so it took us going up the ladder to her manager, and then up the ladder more to actually get someone that'd be like, yeah, of course we can do that. Which we knew they could do the entire time because they're an internet company. But it's the hierarchy system where there's not a lot of logic and thinking outside the box and problem solving. Okay, it's really, really structured and really ordered here, and that's how they work. That's how their systems work. That's how their companies work. That's how people work.
Like critical thinking.
Yes.
They don't have those skills to, like, you can overlook something or they can help out or maybe do something. If it doesn't say they can do it, then they won't do it.
Yeah.
Then to them they can't.
It's like their scope of their job. This is what I do, so this is the only thing I do. Exactly. I cannot do that. Okay? It can get really frustrating too, just because we come from such a different culture.
Yeah.
A problem-solving culture. That number 4 instead of the hierarchy system could also be customer service.
Yeah.
They're not taught to treat the customer with the utmost, as the utmost priority. They'll literally be like, oh, we can't do that. In the States, you would never say that to a customer.
Yeah.
You'd be like, okay, yes. You're taught to say yes to everything they say.
Find a solution.
Yeah.
Let me talk to my boss. Instead, for them, it's nope, and then they don't want to even talk to their boss or anything. And this company, we're there for what, an hour and a half maybe? Just, that's the thing, these inconveniences can take over your morning and should take literally 10 minutes. You type something on the computer, made a phone call. Yeah. And it took us to get to 2 senior managers to be able to do this, just because the entry level and then the mid-level employee couldn't. So
it's just the culture, for sure. Number 5, and this is an obvious one for anyone that has lived far, far away from home, and that is the time difference. Especially because we work and we do stuff in the States as well, and so that time difference can get really frustrating. It can make days go by really fast, because if you have like a 2-hour period to do something where your schedule aligns with the person's in America and you miss it, that means, okay, I gotta wait 24 hours to try it again.
Yeah.
And so that is and can be really, really frustrating.
Yeah.
And definitely a pet peeve.
Yeah, 100%. Especially because the States, at least the West Coast, is what is it?
16.
16. Oh, so 16 hours behind us. So pretty much the only time to talk is early in the morning or late at night.
Yeah.
So then our work days, it's just, it also kind of distracts you if we needed something done in the States and you have a whole work day to think about it here in China until you can actually do something about it till that evening or morning.
It can be an advantage sometimes because you can be working around the clock. We have people in the States, and so actually when we're sleeping, they're doing stuff. So in that aspect, it's an advantage. But yeah, it's definitely an inconvenience a lot of the time.
Yeah, and those
especially with family.
Yeah, that's true too. Hard to keep in touch, I guess, but you'll do that if you're ever out of far away from your home.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, to run through the 5 one more time, it's locals don't understand your Chinese, or local people not understanding your Chinese.
Language confusion.
No personal space, not a bit. Receipts, hold on to every receipt you ever get, stuff them in a drawer, keep them because for some reason you may need them.
They need to develop electronic systems.
For sure. Yeah, e-receipts.
Yeah.
A hierarchy system, or what do we call it? What do you just call it?
Customer service.
Customer service, working with that thing. Yeah, that's always going to be a headache, especially from where we're from. And then time zones. You're running into that whenever you're in an international market or a market that's not your domestic one, but learn to deal with it.
Exactly. Guys, the thing that spurred this post, actually, we like to call them China days. And a lot of these inconveniences will hit you all at the same time. And it's just a China day. We've been here so long that we know these inconveniences, but they'll still get to you.
Yeah.
They'll still get under your skin. Maybe you are in a taxi, he gets completely lost because he didn't understand where we're going, even though he told you he did. And then you leave your phone in the car and you forget to get the receipt, and so you can't track it down. And then you miss you can't get a meeting set up with the people back in the States.
Yeah.
And then you try and get on the metro because you don't want to take the taxi next time, and you're just getting pushed, and you're like, oh my gosh.
It's really, I want to be home. We've looked at each other at like 3 p.m. and it's been like, it's a China day.
It's a China day.
And yeah, you get home and it's like, well, today China won. It's like, there's always tomorrow.
We like to say, chalk one up for China, good work.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, beat us today. Didn't get us that down and out, but definitely got to beat us today.
And that's really the attitude you have to have, especially when you're in a foreign country, is just, oh, well, that's how it is today, or the next day we'll start again new.
100%. Tomorrow's tomorrow. But yeah, those 5 inconveniences you might run into. So be on the lookout and just be ready for them.
Yeah, buddy. Anyone has any questions, any business insights that you want to hear from us, please keep the emails coming. Share this with your friends. We're growing fast and we're excited about it, and we think we have a lot more information to share. So talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to leave comments. I mean, with the amount of emails to comment ratio.
People love sending emails.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't be afraid. Comment on there. We always comment back. We're open to help.
Yeah. All right,
everyone.
Later, guys.